Alright guys, what's going on? This is Nick with Izzy Football, back again with a new video. And today we're going to be talking about the defensive end for the Chicago Bears, Khalil Mack, and what he does in the pass game and in the run game that makes him so dominant, and in my opinion, the best defensive player in football today. Alright, so before we get into these clips, I'm going to be talking about three things that we're going to be looking for in each clip. And the first one's going to be having a plan. And to have a plan means you know what you're going to be doing before the ball snapped, where you're responsible for, or what kind of pass rush move you're going to be making. The second thing we're going to be looking for is making first contact. What I mean by making first contact is when the ball's snapped, you want to be the first person that makes contact with the offensive lineman. You don't want him to be touching you. You want to make first contact and dictate what you're going to be doing. And the final thing we're going to be looking for is low and inside man wins. The most common thing that you'll hear from any football coach is low man wins. But something that's just as important is the inside man. And what I mean by that is where your hand placement is. You want to be inside the other person's hands. And when you do that, you'll have a lot more leverage in the other person to drive the person back or make any sort of pass rush or run move. All right, guys, so this first clip's going to be coming against the Green Bay Packers, and we're going to be focusing on Mack, who's highlighted in yellow, going against Brian Bulaga, the right tackle, who's one of the best in the game. All right, so it's 3rd and forever, and the Packers are running a screen play to just get a few yards to punt. And the 3 interior linemen are giving their guys a free rush, and since the Bears are only rushing 3 guys, it's just that defensive tackle's coming in free. And the screen's going to Ty Montgomery, and he's just going to get as many yards as he can here. So if we look at Mack, we're just going to go back to the 3 things he talked about at the beginning of the video. Does he have a plan? Yes, he has a plan. He's going to bull rush Bulaga straight back into the quarterback and try and get to him. 2, does he make first contact? Yes, he does. He's making first contact on Bulaga right off the snap. And 3, is he low and inside? And yes, he is. If you look at his hands here, he's right inside of Bulaga's hands, and his head is right under Bulaga's head. So he's low and inside, and he has all the leverage to do whatever he wants with Bulaga here. Mack uses his peripheral vision here to see that it's a screen and make a great play on the ball and run it back all the way for a touchdown. All right, so this next play is coming against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we're going to be focusing on 2 defensive players here. Khalil Mack, who's highlighted in yellow, and the linebacker Danny Trevathan, who's highlighted in white. All right, as this play starts to develop, we're going to see what Chicago is doing defensively. They're going to be blitzing Trevathan in the right A gap, and Mack's going to be taking an outside rush. Now, the mistake that Tampa Bay makes here is the left guard is supposed to be blocking number 98 solo, and the center is supposed to be responsible for the blitzing linebacker Trevathan. Instead, they just doubled 98, and Trevathan's left one-on-one on the running back. All right, so if we pause the clip here, we're able to see how consistent Mack is in every pass rush that he takes. He's very low on Dotson. His head's basically in his chest plate, and his hands are inside of Dotson's. And if we just let this clip run all the way through, you'll see that Mack beats his guy and pokes the ball out of Fitzpatrick. Makes a great play adjusting to the rules. Don't go for big hits, get the fumble. All right, this next play is going to be against the Bucs again, and we're going to see the Bears in their nickel defense, 6 men in the box, and we're going to see the Bucs with an extra tight end. So it's going to be 6-on-6, hat for a hat. All right, guys, a lot to look at here, but I'm going to explain it as best as I can to all of you. So going from left to right, we got O.J. Howard one-on-one in his left end. The big blue circle on the left side is going to be the left tackle and the left guard. They're co-opting the defensive tackle to that linebacker. So if the linebacker scrapes to the left tackle has him. If he scrapes to the right, the left guard has him. Same thing on the other big blue circle. It's going to be the center and the right guard this time. The center, they're co-opting their defensive tackle to the linebacker. If the linebacker scrapes to the left, the center has him. If he scrapes to the right guard has him. And finally, on the end, we got Mack and DeMar Dotson in the one-on-one matchup again. They're just blocking him one-on-one, and the running back's job is to read where the least amount of guys are and just run through that hole. All right, so if we stop the clip here, we'll see Mack uses his inside rip to get right past Dotson, and he's in position to make the tackle even before the running back gets the ball. All right, guys, we're done picking on Tampa Bay. It's time to move on to the Arizona Cardinals. And we got Khalil Mack lining up this time at right defensive end, one-on-one against DJ Humphries. All right, so if we pause the clip here, this is a great example of what I was talking about before, having a plan. The white line is going to represent Humphries' kick step to the outside, and the yellow line is going to set up the path that Mack takes to the quarterback. He's going to set up Humphries by taking his first step to the outside and just going full speed right into that gap, into the inside, and Humphries is way too slow to recover. And if we stop it here, you're going to see the left guard is going to take the responsibility of Mack after he completely beats the left tackle. And Mack's still able to get past what should be called as a hold and sack Bradford. All right, guys, so the last clip that we're going to be looking at today is going to come against the Seattle Seahawks. And we got Mack lined up at left defensive end on the outside of the tight end, who's lined up in the slot. All right, so if we pause the clip here, we're going to see how this play starts to develop. Number 81, Nick Van at the tight ends, just going to be giving a bump to Mack and going out in his pass route. And number 65, Jermaine Ifedi, the right tackle, is going to be pass setting and waiting for Mack to get there. And if we pause the clip here, this is a beautiful example of two things we talked about earlier. Making first contact and being low and inside. Mack makes first contact with Ifedi, and Ifedi's basically just waiting there for Mack. And you cannot catch someone like Mack. You can't wait there for someone like him. You got to make first contact. And secondly, Mack is so inside, and he has very good leverage. Ifedi's basically getting pushed back like he's wearing ice skates. And if we just let this clip run all the way to the end, Mack's able to get the sack on Wilson, making a great play, just pushing Ifedi almost straight into the air and back. And right at the end, I think he's pointing to John Gruden there, telling him, you should have paid me that money. All right, guys, that's going to do it on this video on Khalil Mack. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I did a little bit more editing on this one, so you guys are able to see what I'm talking about. And if you have any suggestions for how I should edit or any clips you want to see or any players, you could just write it down in the comments. And as always, I have the email set up. nickirizarry@yahoo.com on the bottom of the screen. You can send anything there, suggestions, clips, anything like that. But that's going to do it for today's video. Have a good day, guys.